Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Locked In Podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. Joined by my co-host, Seth Ritzma, as always. Seth, how we doing?
Oh, just fantastic.
Doing peachy. Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Today we'll be joined by my current sneaker plug, Dave Blue here, or as most people are probably going to know him, R3 Sold. Welcome in, brother.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Man.
I love the sneakers behind you, man. How many you got in your personal collection? That's not one of our questions. I want to ask that first.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like 40, I think.
Okay. Goes from 19
boxes.
to like 40. I love it.
It was like half that I can tell.
Gotcha.
I got my whole
I love it.
floor covered in shoes at the moment. Oh, you can't really tell. But yeah, it's covered. The other side of the room. Thanks, man.
I love it.
Thank you. Just giving everything a good clean.
Yeah, there you go. But let's start with reselling here. So, like I said, guys, this is David Blue. R3 Sold on Instagram here. I'm going to display that on the screen. You guys can follow him on there.
Thank you, my friend.
Big plug for me, guys. He's awesome. He gets all the sneakers I ever need, so I love it. But yeah, let's start with reselling. So a lot of people that are going to watch this probably have no idea of what that actually means or entails. Can clear the air on what that actually is and means to start.
So reselling is just like at the very basic, just buying something to sell it for more. You know, whether or not I buy something like directly from Nike and sell it over retail, or I cash out somebody's whole collection, you know, and then just sell it for a bit more to make a profit. But ultimately, you know, that's pretty much it. Reselling is just straightforward, you know, buy and then sell.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Absolutely.
It's like absolutely. We just get the name, unfortunately.
There you go. Well, also, this isn't part of the questions yet, but I want to ask, where'd you come with the name R3 Sold, by the way? Where'd you come up with that?
Well, I was looking for something that would like encompass all of my like online stuff. Like I'm active in Discord, I'm active on Instagram, Facebook. So a lot of like meta type, spaces. So I thought I'm reselling, resold, put in the 3, make it computery, and then it was money there. I couldn't be happier with it.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you currently are residing in New Jersey, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, in terms of that, like kind of backstory from there, have you lived there your entire life?
Yep. Born and raised here in New Jersey, North Jersey mostly.
Okay.
Grew up in Mahwah, and then I've moved around a bit. Now I'm in the Butler area. I meet mostly at like our local mall, Willowbrook Mall. You probably never heard of it. It's nothing special.
No. Okay.
Yeah. We're both in Michigan, so.
No, I get you. Yeah, it's just like my local spot. I just hang out there. Little Dave and Buster's, nice. Have a little drink, a little game. Wait for people to show up.
There you go. If there's one thing, because I mean, a lot, like me personally, I've never really gotten out to the East Coast much. So if there was one word or one phrase that you could use to describe New Jersey, what would it be?
Oh, God. Well, this one's a bit divisive, but I would just say Taylor ham. A lot of people have heard that phrase. There's a ongoing controversy between whether or not this pork product is called pork roll or Taylor ham, and it is our most divisive New Jersey argument. That's pretty much what we're like famous for.
Okay.
I've never heard of that before.
You've never heard of that? Well, you're lucky because it's an argument a lot of people have over something that is so just straight up the name of the same product. Like one's a brand name and the other is just like the name of the thing, pork roll, and people will argue about this all day, literally all day.
That's crazy.
They can't get enough.
See, ours is like, obviously we're from I don't know what you guys call it, but we have like a pop soda argument. A lot of us in Michigan, it's pop.
Oh yeah,
That's what we call it.
yeah, you're
Call it
calling it
soda.
pop. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
bro, see, I catch myself saying both though.
Yeah, it's easier to say soda to like most people, but like I feel like everyone knows pop, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You say it to your parents, you know, they'll know it right away. I feel
Yeah.
like soda was
Yeah.
a brand name at one point. Or like something else.
Well, I know that a lot of people down south call, like when they say pop, they're talking about like specifically Coke. I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand it. It's
Dude,
crazy.
I went to South Carolina recently to visit a friend of mine, and it was the weirdest thing. They called everything Coke. I said, so if I wanted to go in here and order like an orange Fanta, and I say Fanta, are they gonna know what I'm talking about? He's like, no, you guys say orange Coke.
That's so many options.
I'm like, why?
That's a product that exists already.
I know. I'm like, why? Like, no, I say Coke for Coke. I say Fanta for Fanta.
Jesus Christ. Well,
not everything's Coke.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That doesn't make any sense at all. So
you might get a
I don't
special
like that.
special Coca-Cola out of it though. You know,
That's
you say
true.
orange Coke, they might give you an orange Coke.
That could be.
Cool. You know,
absolutely. Yeah. So let's get back to the actual conversation here. I know we're going off track. There's no problem with that. But in your bio, it says that you're established in 2018. What made you get into reselling back then? What made you start it?
I always liked designer accessories and stuff. Like I always felt like those held a good value. Just like throughout my life, I was always buying like Gucci wallets, you know, Louis sunglasses. Actually, really Gucci everything. Shoes, all the leather goods that you could get. Like I just felt like that stuff was a good value. Not necessarily like sweatshirts, t-shirts, pants. So then I just always searched for those sales to happen on like Saks Off Fifth and like, you know, wherever the good sales would be, get it for dirt cheap. And then I just started reselling it. And then at one point I looked at like what I was doing and I was like, I'm doing this a lot. And then I've always been a sneakerhead too. At first I was like into skateboarding shoes, you know, lots of Vans, lots of Fallens. It's probably something a lot of people have never heard before.
I've never heard of Fallens. Heard of Vans, obviously, but not Fallens.
Yeah. Fallen was like, I think it eventually merged with like DC shoes. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's like where they ended up going. And then, you know, obviously Nike SBs, although at that point in life, I didn't have like that many SBs. I was always like, I don't know, just into like real skateboarding only like brands. But then, so like my parents would never buy me Jordans as a kid. And I know how that sounds. But yeah, they would never get me the Jordans. So like, I think I was a senior in high school, and I was looking through like some sales or like on sneakers, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy like a pair of Jordans. You know, it wasn't like crazy expensive. I think it was the infrared sixes. They weren't retros, but they were just some regular infrared sixes. And then the addiction started, right? So
yeah, right. Exactly. I get that.
I was like, oh, I need that Jordan. I need that Jordan. I need that Jordan. And then I saw the Off-White Chicago going for like $3,000. And I just thought to myself, how does somebody purchase that?
Right.
And here we are. You know,
exactly.
Here we are.
I love it.
Like,
for sure.
I was just like, I gotta get my money up if I'm gonna put these sneakers on my feet, which I've never done, unfortunately. But
now, when it comes to like your reselling business, did you primarily start with just sneakers, or did you kind of, you know, incorporate other things such as like clothing items and all that kind of stuff?
So at first I started with like designer accessories, but that like was much slower than sneakers is. And those items, when you're buying them on sale, you know, they aren't like quote hyped. So they don't have the same traction that like, you know, the new Travis Scott Jordan has where everybody wants it. Yeah. Nobody's, you know, people are willing to pay the high because they know like you're a good source to buy an authentic product from, you know,
right.
Like they see like the StockX price or whatever, and they're just like, you know, I'd rather buy it from somebody where I can actually see the thing that I'm buying, and you know, you know them, you know their reputation.
100%. How hard was it for you to get started kind of in this space?
Oh, it was easy. You know, yeah, you just run up your credit card, you know, and it's super easy to get started. The selling part, that's a little bit harder. I made my way mostly like selling in Facebook groups when I first got started. And then, you know, I've always used eBay like since I was a kid. So I just, you know, naturally went to eBay, started selling stuff there. And it was smooth, you know, it was an easy single motion, really.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, how hard is it to get people to kind of trust you while operating mostly online, obviously? And is scamming something you've come across a lot, or is that something that you haven't really come across too much?
They've got me a couple times. You know, I'm not going to say I've never been stung. I've went without being stung because I certainly have, and it has certainly hurt. But you kind of find like a good little community, a good group of dudes, ladies and dudes, and you know, it just becomes easy to trade with them, and then they know who else is good, and then you just progress from there as you figure out, you know, who the real good actors are and who your bad actors just become very obvious.
Right.
You know, like I don't know anybody. It doesn't make sense. Like we're all in this sneaker world, like together. There's going to be a few mutual connections between everybody.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, and honestly, that's like the big thing when before I found you, because I kind of just came across you one time, I was going back and forth with a lot of people that I actually met in person. And then I'd get somebody else to be like, hey, is this person legit? You know, I'd have to check in with everybody else. That was kind of my way of finding out, hey, is this going to scam me for, you know, $400 or $500? Because I obviously don't want to deal with that. So
no, I get you. You know? I do the same exact thing. It's the safest way to go about getting, you know, your sneakers. A lot of people attempt to like buy off the cheapest random person they can buy, and they quickly learn that's actually not a good idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes it is, sometimes it works out, but overall, like you see the complaints that these people come up with later. You know, it's like, oh man, it seemed good. It was too good to be true, but I just wanted to roll the dice.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Usually is too good to be true. Yeah, usually is too good to be true. That's for sure.
Exactly. If it's too good to be true, you might as well just leave it alone.
Yeah. So now in this industry, especially with you kind of as a business owner, I'm sure you don't want to be known for the guy that's selling the fakes and the replicas. How hard is it to distinguish like the real sneakers from the fake? I'm sure that some of them are super easy, but I know that there's good people out there that make the fake ones. And how do you feel about like the replicas?
Well, I don't condone replica sneakers at all. That's just off the rip. You know, I don't condone it in any small way, not even like just wearing it, because even like wearing, you know, a crazy pair of hyped sneakers that are fake, like if somebody had bad intentions seeing you on the street, like it's for nothing. You get robbed over a fake pair of sneakers, and you just lose like your phone and wallet as a result of that. Like it doesn't make any sense. But it is difficult to tell what, you know, like, or it's not difficult to authenticate a sneaker. Like it is my job, and I do it at least like 30 times a day. But there are some sneakers where you have to be like really, really, really scrutinizing every single small detail, like these Travis Scott Jordan 1s, these ones. Yep. You got to scrutinize. I mean, I bought them, and I bought them with the receipt, with the box, everything. I checked them over a million times, and I actually did use like an authenticating app, all 3 authenticating apps on it, actually, really for no reason, because I knew they were good, but gives you a little peace of mind. And sometimes like there's just highly desirable sneakers that you have to mull over. You have to pore over every single detail and think, is this a flaw, or is this a sign that you might have a fake sneaker? And then I go on like GOAT and on eBay, and I find every last pair in that size that I could find. And then I scrutinize all of those details.
Right.
And if it seems like, if it seems consistent, like, I don't know, like a wrinkle somewhere, or like some stitching is like out of place, if that seems like consistent on 3 or 4 pairs that I'm seeing as I'm doing this search, or even more than that, depending on the sneaker. But if that seems like a consistent flaw, then you can be like, all right, this was probably a manufacturing error. I can move on to like my next potential red flag.
Right.
It's slow, but it's good to be thorough, especially like with these dollar values assigned to these sneakers, and like the idea of like trust within the community. Because if you're sending out pairs, and they do have like defects on them, then the next guy is going to be like, what's wrong with this pair? Why does it have the defects?
Right.
And then you got to explain that and explain your research behind it, which
it's a whole process at that point.
Right. But it is a pain, to say the least. It is super.
So one more thing on that subject before we move on from that. So obviously, if people are trying to sell, fakes or replicas, that's, for the actual price of a real one, that's a problem, right? I feel for me personally, I'm like, if somebody buys a fake pair and they're like, yeah, this is fake, I'm showing this off, or I'm wearing it, but it's fake, and it's just for their own. I feel like that's not a problem, because they're not trying to sell it off in the community. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I feel about it.
I get that. And it's not like a problem for me, like if I see a person walking around with fake shoes, I'm not going to be like, those are fake. Those are fake. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. And if you're admitting that they're even like a fake sneaker as you're walking around with it, like, honestly, kudos to you, because that's the whole like mental gap of it anyway. But
for sure.
I personally, I like the real thing. I've always liked the real thing. And I don't necessarily ever see like my opinion change on that subject. It's not for me. But
and I'll show you this. I'll show you this later on. But I have 1 pair of reps. The rest of my collection, which is 42 pairs, is all real. And I tell you what, man, it's like I had the first pair of reps, and I'm like, this is going to be my display sneaker, and I'll tell everybody it's fake. But when I actually start wearing them, it's like, I don't want to wear a fake sneaker. I don't know. It's just something for me. I don't want to do it.
It doesn't feel as cool,
No, like, it doesn't. It doesn't. You're right.
You put on even the nicest like fake pair of sneakers, and you're still going to be like, I'm faking the funk. And ultimately, like, that's not, that's not how you're looking to feel when you're doing this, at least in my opinion.
Exactly. It's a culture thing, right?
Yep. It's just, if this is
so
how passionate about. Oh yeah. No, go on.
Exactly. Yeah. Something you're passionate about for sure. But how do you get your hands on pairs so quickly and for a good price? Like, obviously you talked about like getting things on discount, on sale, whatever, but obviously sneakers in general, how do you get your hands on a pair so quickly and for a good price?
So for the most part, I just bought these retail sites. Like, I have numerous different automated checkout softwares, I'm cheating.
Right.
But
right. Well, that's what most people do in that, right?
Well, it's just the only way to play the game at this point. So is it even cheating if like that's the way to get your foot in the door?
Yeah, if everybody's doing it, then
exactly. I mean, not even everybody's doing it. Like it is almost impossible to get a good pair of sneakers, like a really hyped pair for retail. If you're not using a bot, it is darn near impossible.
Right.
But then, I just use the old Google machine and I look up whether or not I can find a pair on sale. I'm always using cashback apps like Rakuten and Top Cash.
Yep.
Then it saves you a couple bucks, and sometimes I'll like source a pair, and all I'm honestly looking to do is make like $10 on that sourcing, and then have the shipping all covered and all of that. As long as I can do that, then I'm happy, because the person's always going to come back after that. Ultimately,
for sure,
I did my best to get you the best cost. So that if you need it to happen again, you know where to find me.
Yeah, 100%. How many pairs of sneakers right now do you currently have stocked up to be sold?
Not that many, probably like 60, just about.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been selling a lot of stuff lately because stuff, sales pick up in the final quarter of the year as everyone's getting ready for their holidays and whatnot.
Right.
So I'm super low on inventory.
Okay.
Okay.
How many pairs do you?
So what would you say?
Okay,
go ahead.
How many pairs do you typically like to have on hand?
I like to keep 100 on hand.
Okay.
There's other sellers that keep a lot more, but I'm fine with just 100.
Okay.
And then I also have
that's plenty for sure.
Yeah,
I have a ton of clothing too. So overall, I still have probably 200 plus items, counting like every accessory. Like I sell random Supreme accessories down to like things that cost a few dollars, whatever. Like I'll just toss it on eBay, and if it sells, then if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it's on eBay forever.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, for sure. So how much on average would you say you spend on sneakers and collectibles, like every month, if you don't mind disclosing like a rough number for it? I know it'd probably be tough, but
yeah, I mean, I do count my numbers at the end of each month, so I know the exact amount. But let's just call it around like 12 to 15,000 a month.
Awesome, sweet.
That's a lot of that's a lot of crap. That's
a lot. That is a lot.
And a lot of the stuff I do, like I do love to collect things. Like I'm a total pack rat. Right now, I'm collecting One Piece cards from the anime show One Piece. I love it. I don't know why.
Okay.
They're just so shiny and cool. I don't have any up here, but yeah, I don't know. Just like
so now. Go ahead. Yeah. So in terms of reselling, would you say? I mean, how lucrative of a business has it been for you?
It's had a lot of ups and downs. It's been pretty publicized that, like, quote, the sneaker market is dying, which is kind of like a weird thing to say because everyone on earth still wears shoes. So that doesn't really make sense. Yeah. But that's what people say as far as like, reselling happened. And I am not immune to those things, like drops barely selling over retail or like sitting within stores and not selling well. And that's all fine. So when that happens, I pivot a little bit and I start cashing out like people's collections. And then I spend a ton of time cleaning them. I have a whole array of like cleaning supplies, restoration kits, So, I buy the shoes, I clean them up, restore them, and then they're good to sell, and you make a decent profit doing that as long as you watch the amount of time you spend.
Yeah.
Right.
So would you say that it has the capabilities to be a 6-figure business if it's not already for you?
Absolutely. And I'm not making 6 figures by any means. But I'm spending 6 figures, but it can be a very lucrative business, but you just have to have the time willing to dedicate to it, and you have to be self-motivated without a doubt.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I even find myself struggling to I just cashed out 32 pairs of sneakers from my friend, and all of which needed like a full cleaning. So it's taken me 4 full days of cleaning those sneakers, which is more than I thought. But I estimate that I'm going to triple my money.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go.
Worth it then.
So, it's pretty worth it. I mean, you make $2,000 for a week of work. It's basically like a regular job, but I'm selling other stuff in the same capacity. So it doesn't totally stop up my time like completely.
For sure. Yeah. So going off of that, is reselling your only job, and what do you like most about it?
Right now, reselling is my only job.
Okay.
I do like random side jobs too, but mainly just reselling. And the thing I like most about it is that I work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week with no breaks. That's my favorite part.
That's awesome. Love the grind, man. I love it. It. That's great.
No, I'm a workaholic for sure.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Actually, no, my favorite part about it is getting the stuff that I want for myself.
Yeah.
Like when I get a good used pair, size 9, 9.5, and I could just put them right on my foot, guilt-free. That's what I'm doing this all for.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I understand that. I had for my wedding, I bought a used pair of Travis Scott Black Phantoms, and that was my wedding shoe with my black suit. And it just had no guilt when I was wearing it because it was used already. I'm like, I can't beat them up.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, besides sneakers, what would you say is probably like another bestseller for you within your business?
Besides sneakers, geez, records. I sell a ton of like signed music memorabilia.
Okay.
That's cool. It's really cool.
I wouldn't say it's my best seller, but it is very good when it's the time of year, and that is Halloween decorations. I know it's ridiculous, but like a lot of Halloween decorations from like Home Depot and Lowe's, they just straight up resell. It's easy. It's already boxed up. So that's probably like one of my best things for the year is the Halloween decorations.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like the past 2-3 years, you get something and you're like, wow, I know this would look insane on my front lawn. Let me just buy it. And then I love Halloween too. So let me just buy it, and if I can sell it, I can sell it. If not, my lawn is going to look awesome.
Yep.
There you go. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll give you a little break here for the sponsor segment. All right. So this episode is brought to you by LifeVantage. Would you rather take antioxidants or make antioxidants? You'd have to eat some blueberries, 375 oranges, over 100 cups of broccoli, and over 100 vitamin C tablets in one day to have the same antioxidant impact of one NRF2 activator. Your body's oxidative stress levels would be decreased by an average of 40% in 30 days. Activation or supplementation, which do you choose? Take it to make it. If you'd like to learn more about NRF2, reach out to me directly on IG at SER_Sage, or visit the link tree in my bio to check out LifeVantage website for yourself. Thank you, LifeVantage, for sponsoring today's episode.
Hey, thanks.
All right. Yeah. Yes, sir. We'll have to talk to you about it too. You got to get your hands on some NRF2 activators. I've been taking it for 5 years. It's a good thing. So
really I'm not too up on the lingo. What does that mean? What does that mean? NRF.
So so it's NRF2 is just, that's what it's called. It's a little yellow pill. You get a 30-day supply when you buy it monthly. The big thing is like obviously I just read about antioxidants and all that. It helps you a lot at the cellular level of your body. And a lot of people will feel a difference. Like I know for me, taking it for 5 years, if I don't take it for a couple of days, I kind of feel a little bit off. It helps me stay feeling great.
Nice. I got to try that. I need some more energy.
Yeah, I can send you a link.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah, working 24/7. That'll be definitely something you want. So.
Oh God,
there you go.
It's better than like 5 cups of coffee and a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot better.
Yeah. So
this is just water. It's regular.
Not vodka today.
Oh God, a little too early for the
vodka. I love it. Well, let's talk about your upbringing a little bit. Obviously, you said you're always grown up in New Jersey, always been there. Did you have access to sneakers? I know you said they didn't buy a lot for you, but did you have access to other sneakers besides like Jordans?
As a kid, nah, I got the one pair of shoes for a year, and if I messed them up, then I was skateboarding in a pair of messed up shoes, and that was happening like a lot. And I would use like super glue to put them back together, or like, the bottom of the shoe would wear out and I'd like take some, like a random piece of rubber, try to cut it to be the right shape and just super glue it back in place, or use like shoe goo, whatever I could do to make it continue happening and not destroy my foot in the process. And that's just what I had to do.
Awesome. That's a lot of dedication. I love it.
As a kid, what would you say your grail sneaker was?
As a kid, being that I am 30 now, and I will say as a kid, I'll put that at like 14. Okay. Because my grail sneaker was not a sneaker anyone had heard of prior to that. It was like a Taka Mirashi Vans. It was like all leather, had like frills on it. Looked like a sweet leather jacket. It was badass. But my grail as a kid, starting like when my interest in Jordans was peaked, was the Gamma 11, and it still is to this day. Oh man, that is
those guys right there.
Shoe. Yes, sir. Oh man.
What is it about that you like? What is it about that pair?
I just love the patent leather. The blue looks really good. Love the translucent sole. I'm a sucker for light blue. For my namesake,
I am too,
honestly. Dude. It's just so clean. I can't get enough of those.
Okay.
Really, every Jordan.
Okay.
Is just always my favorite.
Okay. Nice. Awesome. And so what's your favorite sneaker all time and then current?
My all-time favorite sneaker is also the sneaker that got me into wanting to resell sneakers, was the Off-White Chicago Jordan 1. Without a doubt.
This guy right here. Now this is the pair that I was telling you about. That I got.
This
is rep. This is my only rep. Yeah. Only rep that I have.
Correct. I could tell.
I displayed this. Yeah. Go. What about this? So obviously, for instance, I displayed this. This is like one of the things I'm like, hey, this is a grail that I'm chasing someday type deal, right? That's just kind of my motivation for it. But what about like right now, looking at this, could you tell?
The red color is like a little bit off on the upper leathers. Okay. And then the white midsole and toe should be yellowing like significantly with like lines coming through them.
Right.
Just because of the age, and like if they've literally ever been worn, that is what happens just immediately. Like lines just will pop up through the whole white parts of the sneaker, and they'll become clearly visible. They'll start to tear apart just due to like at the time, deconstructing sneakers was so popular. And this is a testament to that. So they are made to basically fall apart. Not fall apart, but, wear very easily.
Obviously. And that's the big thing when I got these. And obviously that was when I first got into sneakers about 2.5, 3 years ago now. I kind of was just like, I want to have this pair to display because this is, if I can ever afford it, which I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'd even spend that type of money on a sneaker. That's a lot. So
yes,
that's just a grail of mine. So
yeah,
I don't know, maybe at some point.
You would.
I mean, I plan to, but I haven't yet either. So I can't blame you for that.
Yeah. So obviously that's your favorite, right? All time.
Yep. And then my current grail, I just cannot get enough of this shoe. Voodoo Zions. Coolest pair of sneakers that has come out in the last couple of years, without a doubt. Like, they are just so awesome. Little button details.
I should have figured you'd had them.
Oh yeah. Of course I have them. Oh, great.
Those are awesome. I love the laces on those too. For the ones back home, I have a picture. Oh, that's the Gammas. Here's the picture of the Voodoos up close. I like the like ropes, the rope laces. Is that what those are?
Yep. Yeah. I love those. Ever since I saw them on the Travis Scott like SB, I was like obsessed.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. I think those laces are sweet. And honestly, that shoe, when it first came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it. And then it just grew on me. And now I want to get a pair of it, of course. So
yeah. I remember the day they like dropped too. I like ran the bot on only really big sizes because it seemed like it wasn't gonna like resell. And that was very foolish of me, because I wanted like a pair my own size really badly, but I was like, oh no, just in case they don't do well, like I'm not going to do it. Instant regret. Same day they went up to like $250, $300 right after everyone slept on them. And
that's crazy.
That's how it happens. But then I bought a bunch of pairs right after that.
There you go.
There you go.
So just went over your favorite sneakers of all time. Now, like, in your opinion, what do you think is the worst sneaker of all time?
The worst sneaker of all time. And I'm going to say something that is not a sneaker, but I think most sneakerheads will agree with me. And that is the Mischief Big Red Boot. Worst
that guy right
sneaker
there
of all time. Never ask me to get you a pair.
I will never. Those are hideous, and they go up to your knees, don't they?
Oh yeah, they go all the way up to the knees, so you can take a bath and sweat. I guess. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody wants
those. Those are wild. So obviously, those are the Mischief Big Red boots. So obviously, I have to ask you about these. What's your opinion on these? Obviously, it's going to be the same, I guess.
It's the same. There's only one pair of Mischief shoes that's like good, and it's the Kid Cudi like super wear ones. I don't know. They're like a bunch of different crazy colors. Those are pretty cool. But other than that, Mischief has not made a shoe for me yet. Oh, well, I guess they did those two Air Maxes too, and those were pretty cool. But
I know the Big Red boots, they were reselling for a while at like $2,000. I'm like, why?
Oh yeah. No, so many people asked me to get them that shoe when it first came out too. I like won the raffle. I think I won like 4 or 5 pairs, honestly, and at $350 per pair, that's quite a ticket. But I was stoked because it was like selling for $1,000, and then I watched that price decline, and then I watched the price decline even more. And then I felt bad for everyone who spent, $1,000 on the pair. Even the ones that I was selling, I was just like, oh, okay, well, if they come back and they really have like an issue, I'll just like take the shoe back. I'm going to try to return it. But luckily that didn't happen. I ended up losing money on just one like final pair because I don't know why I thought it would like go up because it was going to be cool or something, but it did not. It sank through the floor, went to like $150, $200, and I lost $150 on that one. They ain't all winners.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, in my opinion, they are not even worth $150. I want to give you, I might give you 20 for them, not even then, but
I wouldn't do 20. I'd be like, yeah, no one wants.
Yeah, this. Exactly. Exactly. So, what has been the most expensive pair of sneakers that you had to acquire for a customer?
The most expensive pair of sneakers, probably like some Chunky Dunks. Those are around like 1,800, 2,000.
Did you get the special box like that too when you for them?
No, I didn't get the special box.
Okay,
that would be like another couple thousand on some cardboard. I don't really, I mean, a lot of people do it, and I see the value in it, but that's just like a risky move for me to risk for like another person, in my opinion. I'll be like, that might not be a great idea, because now like we're a little bit too far past the release date and when they came out to reliably say that like this cardboard is going to be 100% good.
Right.
Like it's just too risky.
Yeah, I would say, dude, the out of all the special boxes, though, that I do believe that the Chunky Donkey's got a cooler one. Obviously, it's a Ben and Jerry's, ice cream in there. I think that's cool. I don't think it's worth another couple grand, but
I mean, I do think it's worth like a couple grand, because that's like going to be your real collector value. Like the Chunky Donkeys, they're awesome. Just shoe itself, but then you add in like the spoon that came with it, the ice cream tub. It's definitely a very unique set. It sits up there with like all the iterations of the lobster SBs. Those come with awesome boxes. One came with like an actual lobster crate, which I think is just an amazing amazing like detail.
I think that's sweet. I love all the lobsters. So
same, me too.
I got the special box. I got the special box orange lobster right there.
Oh,
that's like
nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
But it's not sitting there anymore. Darn.
What about the most bizarre pair that you've had to get for somebody?
The most bizarre pair was a pair I got pretty recently. I mean, it's not super bizarre, but it's like these crystallized off-white out of office sneakers. Yep, those ones.
Okay. Those ones.
Yeah.
Those are wild.
The picture doesn't do them justice, but honestly, when I got them in hand, they shined so hard. Like it was awesome to see. So they had great taste. Shout out to my jeweler. He was the one who got them. He always has shiny. Nice. He always picks good ones.
That's awesome. They look a lot like the CPFM SBs. Obviously, they got that crystallized look, but the CPFMs are a lot more expensive. I'm guessing, right?
They certainly are. I think even the cheaper pairs are still like $3,000. So save yourself $2,000 there and get a designer shoe. I mean, no brainer, really.
I was wondering how much are those crystallized ones off whites, because I actually haven't seen them until just now when that happened. So
I think I sourced them for around 1,100 for him. Just around 1,100. The retail is 15 plus.
So tax. They're still up there.
Oh yeah, no, they are. It is a very expensive shoe. It's an off-white shoe, so it's not going to be cheap.
Right.
But saving yourself $500 is still pretty good. Can't complain about
for sure.
That.
No, not at all.
Absolutely.
All
right.
Yeah, those were cool.
So. Yeah. So moving on from that one, what is the best collab sneaker of all time, in your opinion, and how do you feel about the Travis Scott collabs? Obviously.
I love me some Travis Scott collaborations with Nike. It's always, cash register time, and they're always coming up with something like, that's pretty ingenuitive. Like that's pretty cool. I don't know. You don't see a lot of premium materials being used on like the sneakers anymore, unless it's like something really special. And every Travis Scott is always premium materials, great quality control. So I do like that collaboration a lot. And as it happens pretty frequently, it just makes me like it more and more.
Yeah, I know. Those three right there. I mean, well, that's the Black Phantoms. You got me that pair, and that pair up there. So the Jumpman Jacks, and then the olives, obviously. So I love the Jumpman Jacks. I was actually surprised. I actually really do like them.
Yeah, are they really comfortable? They look comfortable.
They're not as comfortable as you would think. They kind of feel a little bit like a dunk, like a normal dunk type feel. So they're not that comfortable. Yeah. They do look more comfortable than they actually are, but
maybe you just got to break them in a little bit more too, because that sole is thick. That sole is thick.
Yeah.
But I love them, and thank you for the shameless plug of I did get you those pairs.
Got me those three, man. Of course, I love it.
But I'd have to say the best sneaker collaboration or collaborative sneaker is Paris, and the best sneaker collaboration is the Futura line. They came out with the For Love or Monies. Yep. They came out with these just recently. The friends and family version. Yep, they're doing like 5 figures, I think, like 15,000. Beautiful pair, great materials. Yeah, no, they really pull out every stop, and it's always a great pair. Even the lesser known ones, they have a couple that didn't make it to the Hall of Fame, but they're still even great, and they do numbers. Not that necessarily matters for how good a shoe is, but in my mind, that makes it stand up to the test of time. Kind of surpass it. A lot of people determine their opinions based on like the value of a sneaker. So if that means people are going to like it forever, that's kind of what I think. I don't know. It's like, it's weird. It's kind of a backwards way of thinking, but
I agree with you. Though, when it comes to that, if it sells a lot and it's obviously a higher price tag, that means it's going to withstand the test of time for sure.
Yeah. Or just people are thinking about that item way past its release and all the marketing that Nike does for it. It's just like a staple in people's minds. And a lot of almost every Futura Nike collaboration has remained present in like sneakerheads' minds always.
For sure.
And I think that makes them the greatest collaboration, with the second greatest collaboration being the 10 by Virgil Abloh. Yeah, that is, there's my favorite right on top, right in the middle.
Yeah.
I love those hyper dunks too.
I do really like those.
Right of those. Yeah, they turn yellow really fast, which is kind of not great, but they just look so freaking cool. The whole thing looks cool, honestly. Every pair, just great pairs. That's got to be number 2.
I would say those 2 hyper dunks are the pair that I want to get that I haven't, and they're not crazy expensive, obviously, used still. So yeah,
as long as you can find a pair, that's only has like slight yellowing on it, you're pretty much good to go, and you just slap them right to the feet. It costs you like $250, $300 maybe. Might not be
exactly. It looks sick though.
It looks sick, and that's the part that counts.
Exactly. So moving away from reselling, what sports do you enjoy watching? I know we talked about this a little bit. What big sports do you enjoy watching?
Well, I like watching a little basketball, a little football. Yeah, pretty much just those. I'm not a huge fan of baseball, unfortunately. Hot take, but I feel like it's kind of boring to watch.
It is.
It's just.
I agree. I played baseball my whole life, and
I love playing the game, but watching it is just not that same appeal for me, at least. I'm sorry, I'm hurting your feelings, Seth.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
And so, then,
yeah, you're not hurting my feelings at all. That's for sure. Yeah, I love playing baseball. I really do not enjoy watching it. I think it's really boring for sure.
No, that's okay. Yeah. And then watch a little bit of boxing anytime I can get it on streaming for free, of course. Watched the Tyson fights the other day. A lot of upsets there.
Yeah, what'd you think about that situation?
I felt like I should have bet on Jake Paul and made like $2 on my money.
Yeah.
It was just, that was like, I don't know why the whole world, myself included, I'm not going to count myself out. I don't know why the whole world thought Mike Tyson was going to go Super Saiyan and just beat up Jake Paul. Like, it's very unrealistic thought.
Absolutely.
I thought it was going to happen too, though. I thought he was going to just like scream and just demolish this guy, but
we talked about it in our last podcast episode with Avery, and they did a good job of selling that to us and just kind of making us think that was actually going to be a fight. But then at the same token, he's 58 years old, so
58 years old. I mean, you can be the best fighter, but 58 to 27 is not good.
No.
No. Father time takes over, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't be as fast, you can't be as strong, no matter how fast or strong you may be. Like, the guys is Jake Paul semi-professional boxer, or now he's full pro?
Who knows at this point?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know, because I know he's only fought one pro boxer.
Well, not a lot of pro boxers get a lot of pro fights. So that's what makes me think that, like, once you break that, that's what gives you like the title, because don't they average like 3 or 4 professional fights in their like entire career? Isn't that the average for a lot of boxers?
Yeah, I think it varies, but like I actually had a friend that was a pro boxer, and I think his like pro boxing record was like actual pro, not just amateur, was, I want to say 5 and 6 or something like that. So he had 11. Obviously it varies, and Jake Paul isn't really a part of the actual boxing association, because he's doing his own stuff and he has his own promotions. So I really wouldn't say that he's pro. I could just say he can get whatever fight he really wants because he brings money to everybody,
Right. I think that kind of drops him into the pro, just like anyway, honestly. Like, you can fight whoever you want,
Yeah.
That's pretty professional to me, in my opinion.
Yeah,
for sure.
So sticking with
most
NFL, with football and basketball, who would you like right now? Favorite NFL team and NBA team?
I go mostly New York teams, honestly. I
was kind of thinking that, being New Jersey.
Yeah. No, it's very predictable. Nets fan, Giants fan.
Okay.
So Nets over Knicks.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of the Knicks. I don't want to say they play like badly and it's disappointing, because they I don't know. That's actually, I guess, what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, I don't want to get the heartbreak, but at least I know, my Nets are always going to do solid, give it their all.
Yeah, see, I'm a Bulls fan, and I get let down every single year.
Yeah, it's probably been happening for a while.
Yeah, it's been happening since '98. So,
well, at least they stay consistent. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, being a Giants fan, that has to suck too, obviously. How do you feel about the Daniel Jones release?
It is reoccurring suck, just to say the least. They don't let you get anything really.
No.
but that's okay because I got to pick somebody, and I can't pick the Jets. So.
Yeah, Daniel Jones being cut or like released from the team was actually shocking to me because they demoted him. He was first string, then they demoted him all the way to third string when they sat him, and then he's kind of like, all right, well, screw you guys. I want to be released from this team. Like you can't just do that. So.
Well, they take him off the A roster. He kind of has to make a choice. It's a career choice.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get into.
I mean, he still has dead money of like $20 million that he's still going to get paid. So I'm sure he's not hurting too much. But
oh yeah, no, he's fine. Actually, I'm gonna just do your thing. $20 million. Might as well just let it ride.
Exactly. So, who wins the Super Bowl and who wins the NBA Finals this year, in your opinion? If you had to pick,
I have no idea, but it's not my teams. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't like the Lions. Obviously, we're Michigan boys. The Detroit Lions. We're neither one of us are a Detroit Lions fan for our base team. Like he's a Bears fan and I'm a Seahawks fan.
I'm Chicago all day.
The Lions are 9-1.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
They're gonna look.
Yeah,
bro,
the Lions are 9-1, so
lose.
they might take over.
They can't beat the Chiefs and the refs. It's okay. We don't have to worry about the Lions winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just I felt like the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, that was huge for like Philly.
Yeah,
but that was a tremendous surprise to the rest of us. Especially like you think the Pats. I'm not a huge Pats fan, but they do bring a tremendous game, and they usually take that W in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't know, little can't really tell just yet. Lions do sound pretty darn good, though. I didn't know they were 9-1.
Yeah, I think
they're playing good.
Yeah, it's the Lions and the Chiefs are going to be the two big ones. See who wins from those two in the AFC.
The Lions have put up 50 points in 2 of their last 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's an impressive. That's an impressive improvement for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Chiefs are AFC. Lions are NFC, right, Seth?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I had that confused for a second. I don't know why.
No, they wouldn't play each other until the Super Bowl. But now right. One of the most controversial questions in sports. When it comes to the NBA specifically, and we can go for the NFL too, but with the NBA, who would you say who's your GOAT? Is it Bron? Is it Jordan? Is it Kobe? Is it somebody else? Who to you is the GOAT?
Of all time, that's a tough question. I'd probably have to say, like, honestly, I don't know. Maybe LeBron. Maybe LeBron. I mean, he is a fantastic player, and he's had a long, storied career. You just can't take that away from the guy.
Right.
But I don't know. I like KD.
Okay, that's what I haven't heard.
Maybe not.
So do you? But yeah. So to you, when it goes into deciding for you, in your opinion, championships don't play a factor then too much?
They do. I'm not going to say that they don't, because that's obviously when like a champion emerges.
Right.
So you can't take that away. But
that's why I was expecting you to say MJ, especially.
Yeah, no, I couldn't say MJ because he's been beat out by LeBron in quite a few different ways. He played the old game, and that game just isn't there anymore. So you can't really even compare it.
It's hard to compare with all sports, when it comes to the time comparison like that.
Right. Like, the players of today are just so far past where they were, fucking 40, not 40, maybe 30 years ago. How old am I? 30 years ago. Yeah. It's just every sport is different. But that is the progression, and that's why they're interesting to watch. If Michael Jordan was going to be the greatest player of all time, and his prime passed at the beginning of the sport. Like, what does that mean for the sport?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean for basketball? Just no one's ever going to do better. You're going to cut it off right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I'll always say that Jordan is my GOAT. It might be some bias due to the fact that I'm a Bulls fan, but for me, I like to look at the championships primarily, and him having 6 and both times getting three-peats to get those 6, and then I give LeBron his flowers. Obviously, what he's been able to do, and for the longevity that he's been able to do it, is insane. But in terms of how many he's been in versus how many he's won, I'm just like, dude, I just can't give it to him.
That's fair. It's just an opinion, really.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of ways that you can look at like who is the greatest player of all time, but then you also have to consider what's the greatest team of all time.
Exactly.
You can't win a championship just by yourself. So
no, 100%.
And some great players will never win championships because they don't have the right support that they need.
Exactly. I mean, look at Chris Paul.
Yeah, but still great player,
Yeah.
So you just hope that they find themselves in the right spot while they're still young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, that's what I like most about wrestling. I've wrestled my entire life. I'm a wrestling coach now. It's an individual sport, so you can. There's no question of who's the greatest of all time if you're out there alone.
Who's the greatest wrestler of all time, in your opinion? Who's the
it's so if you go in terms of championships, world championships, Olympic medals. I feel like you can't say anybody. I don't know. So if I'm staying American, because there's been a lot of really good Russians, right? There's been a lot of really good Russians. But I would say American-wise, it's got to be Jordan Burroughs. He's won 8 Olympic and world medals. So it's that's next level.
All right. I mean, that's how you tell.
And he's
it ain't a team sport, so that's all him. All him.
Yeah, and he's 30. I want to say he's 37. I could be wrong. He's like 37, between 36 and 38, and he's still wrestling. So that the fact that he's still doing that, and especially in a sport that beats your body up like that, it's crazy.
Yeah, so. No, that's a lot of physical wear. Getting tossed.
For sure.
All that.
Yeah. So going to NBA, I don't know too much about it, but what are your thoughts about Klay Thompson leaving Golden State? And obviously he's on the Mavericks this year. That's one of the only things I actually do know about NBA this year.
I don't really have an opinion on it. Neither of them are really my team. So it's just news as usual to me, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I was in the gym the morning after they played each other, and it was just like they used to be the Splash Brothers, and next thing you know, I see on the TV it's just like Klay Thompson 3, Steph Curry 3, Klay Thompson 3, Steph Curry 3. They're just going back and forth with threes the whole entire game, so that was kind of cool. But
no, he is great at the game, but he's got to come to a New York team, and then he's got to come up a little bit my way, and then I'll pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'll end with this question. Obviously, I mean, this is a big year for LeBron and his family. Do you think LeBron will win a title with Bronny before he hangs it up?
It's a tough question. I know. I personally don't think so, if I had to say something, but that's just me.
I feel like no, because LeBron is getting like a little bit older. He's still solid as could be, but he is like probably one of the older guys playing the sport at this exact moment.
Oh yeah. He said he said the other day in the presser he's giving himself about another year or two before he hangs it up.
I mean, that's honestly amazing. Like if you think about this guy's knees, the weight that he's taken at landing, and he's like pushing 40, right? He's older than 40. He's almost 50.
I don't know about that old, but he's old.
I
know he's old.
I think he just turned 40 not that long. I think he's early 40s.
Oh, okay. All right.
Guys, why don't we use?
I mean, when you're a guy that can spend
Google.
when you're a guy that spends $1 million on your health and your body every year, I mean, it's just crazy the longevity. How old? 37?
39.
39.
39. He's 39.
Oopsie.
Almost 50.
Almost 50. Almost 40. Okay, I counted him out.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
The likelihood is there that he could win the championship or take the title.
Yeah.
With Bronny. Especially because, Bronny is solid as could be as a player too.
Yeah, so. I feel like people hate on Bronny a lot just because I feel like it's coming from the fact that they see like, oh, he's not his dad.
Yeah. Well, he's got big shoes to fill.
Right.
He definitely does. I don't think he'll ever be to that level. I think he'll end up making a name for himself. Because obviously he's not 6'8", 6'9". He's not, he just doesn't have his dad's size. So they're obviously going to have to play two different ways.
Yeah, he's going to play a completely different game.
Yeah, I think Bryce James has more of a copycat game closer to his dad's than what Bronny does. Bryce is a little bit bigger, taller.
I don't know. You don't need to be your father in anything.
Not at all.
I feel like that's something that young men are constantly just doing. It's like, you're trying to unseat your own dad, basically.
Yeah.
And those are humongous shoes to fill, but will he be that player? You just got to wait and see,
Yeah.
He's got the means to put in the same workouts, same regiments that Braun is doing, and it's kept him at the top of his game for a long time. So I see a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
I see that he has the room to improve as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to grow another couple inches, but
right.
The game will always he'll improve. That'll just be it.
For sure.
So
for sure. Well, Dave, we appreciate you joining for season 3, episode 4 of Locked In Podcast. And I appreciate you always getting me the pairs of sneakers that I need, not want. It's a need.
No problem, man.
I appreciate
you having me.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, I got to get you. Seth's got to come in and get a pair from you at some point. He's got to up his collection a little bit.
See, but I don't have a collection. That's the thing. Like the most expensive pairs of sneakers I have are Air Max 270s, and I got those on sales from Champs.
But you know the number, so that means it's a collection now.
Actually, I don't know because it's
there
like
you go.
I'll buy shoes and then I'll wear them a couple times and then I just forget about them and they just sit in the garage.
Sounds like a sneaker collection if I have ever heard of one. That is exactly what I do. I buy a shoe, wear it a couple times, and then forget about it. Or I don't forget about it. But it's got to be in a clear box for people to not forget. I got that bad memory. If you leave it in the box, it's a goner.
Absolutely.
If I can't see it, it's not there.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you to everyone watching back home. Don't forget to follow David at R3Sold on IG to stay up to date with all his deals. Obviously, he's got a lot of deals he can get you there when it comes to reselling in general. So we appreciate you, David. Also, don't forget to follow the podcast at @official_LockedIn podcast for all podcast updates. Thank you so much for joining, David.
Hey, anytime. Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you.